It's another pin video, woohoo! Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, welcome. I'm Lydia and I do a lot of Disney videos. Today I am sharing 5 things to know about pin collecting, because if you are new here then you probably don't know, but I am a massive pin collector. I've got all my pins behind me. I just love collecting Disney pins. They're like my favourite thing to collect from the Disney parks. They're my favourite piece of merch. I have been collecting for years now, since 2006, and I thought I would kind of share 5 things that I think are quite interesting to know about pin collecting. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see more videos like this from me, and I do have a Disney pin playlist, so I will put the link to that up above if you want to check that out and see my other pin videos. But yeah, let's get started. The first thing that I'm going to share with you is it is a really expensive hobby. You just kind of get sucked up into collecting pins, and before you know it, you've got loads of pins that can be really expensive. So yeah, it is an expensive hobby, but in my opinion, I think it is 100% worth it. I love collecting pins, and I just love seeing like the different variations of pins, the different style of pins. There's so many pins out there, so many different types of pins, but it can be very, very expensive. So depending on the type of the pin, which I'll get into in a little bit, the pins can range from like £8.99, £7.99 up to like £50–60, even more if you're buying them from like eBay or you're buying them from like a second seller. So it does depend on the type of pin that you get, if it's a limited edition pin or just an open edition pin. Obviously it doesn't have to be an expensive hobby if you just want to collect open edition pins, and you know, you just want to kind of like dip your feet in and just get the cheaper pins. But obviously if it creates an obsession like it has with me, you just get roped in and you just want to like get limited edition pins of your favourite characters or favourite films or limited releases or special pins, that type of thing. The second thing I've got to share that ties in with the first thing is that there are many different types of pins. There are so many, it's literally unbelievable. Like, it's crazy how many different pins you can get just from like one movie or one character. I've got a little list on my phone so I don't forget any of the ones that I can like remember off the top of my head. Let me know down below if there's any types of pins that I've forgotten to mention in this video, but these are the ones that I've written down. So the first one are open edition pins or rack pins. They are pins that you can get in the Disney parks that are basically the cheaper ones, so like £8.99, £7.99. Most of these open edition pins are ones that you can get in the parks for years. They just kind of stay in the parks and you can get them everywhere. Like in every shop you will see racks of just open edition pins, pins that, you know, have no special size. They're not like limited edition pins or anything like that. So I've got a few from Walt Disney World when we went in 2006, so they're like my first pins that I managed to get. And even though I got them in 2006, on the back of the pins they have a date, and on some of my pins it says like 2002 or 2003, even though I got them in 2006. So they were open edition pins that were in the parks for quite a while. So that's a really good thing to know if you were just starting out collecting pins. Definitely get some open edition pins. They're really good, and you can find some really, really cool ones as well. Next pins are limited release. So these are ones that are only in the parks or online for a limited amount of time. So sometimes these pins are there in the parks or online, wherever they are. They're there for maybe like 6 months, 2 months, a month, a week if they're really popular, a few days if they're really popular again, or even a few minutes. Like the Minnie Mouse main attraction pins, they sell out literally within minutes, even though they're limited release. So you would think that they would have them online for at least like a couple of days or a week, but because they're really, really popular, they sell out within minutes. And then with limited edition, so LE pins, they are ones that are to do with a size. So for instance, you can get LE 50 pins, which are really, really small, like collection size, because there's only 50 of them made. Then you can get LE 3000, 300, LE 200, LE 100, like it just depends really. Then obviously the lower the size of the pin, generally the more expensive they are. But limited edition pins are more expensive to like rack pins, the same with limited releases. So the next type of pins that I'm going to share, I'm just going to kind of whiz through them. So you can get hidden Mickey pins. They're ones that you can find in the park, so on cast member lanyards, on the pin boards that you can see around the parks, and they normally have like different like series of hidden Mickey pins. Depending on like the year, or you know, if it's towards the start of the year or at the end of the year, they kind of release different pins to go in the parks. So they're really cool. I do like hidden Mickey pins. Also, I forgot to say with hidden Mickey pins, if you get them in the parks, you have to trade with cast members or find them on pin boards and like trade one of your pins for a hidden Mickey pin. And that's a really cool thing to do. I do like pin trading. Mystery pin pack pins are ones that you can get in like the little boxes, and you can either get like 2 in a box or 1 in a box or 5 in a box. They also have them in like the little packs as well. And they're really cool, and you can like collect the whole like collection. So maybe there's like 16 to collect, and you genuinely don't know what pins are in that pin pack, so it's just a lot of luck basically. But on the backs of them, they will say like the different pins that you can get, so you can try and collect them all. I really love collecting mystery pins, they're just absolutely amazing. Also with mystery pin packs, you can get like a chaser pin, and these are ones that are genuinely harder to find, and they maybe are of a different character, or maybe they're all like silver, or they've got some kind of different detail to them, but generally tracer pins are harder to find. Cast member exclusive pins are obviously ones that are only exclusive to cast members. And then you also have cast member lanyard pins, which I think are the same to hidden Mickey pins. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. The next pins I'm going to talk about have like different features to them, which are really cool. I love collecting these type of pins. So you have hinge pins, so you know, they could be like a little door that you have to open on the pin, a pin on pin which basically has a pin and then like another kind of pin on top, so it's like a 3D pin, which is really cool. You have spinner pins with like a spinner kind of element to them. A jumbo pin. Jumbo pins are like big pins, so they're like not your regular sized pin. I do have one in my collection and it's absolutely amazing. It's massive, it's really cool. And then also dangle pins, so there's obviously like a dangle kind of element to it. I've got a few in my collection which I think are really nice. And then there's also like stained glass pins as well, which have like a stained glass like kind of see-through element to it. So many different pins, it's amazing. Third thing I'm going to share with you is that you will fall in love with pins. If you just start collecting, you will just fall down the rabbit hole, and you will just see like the amount of Disney pins that you can get, and you will start to fall in love with them all. Whether that's seeing pins on racks in the Disney parks, or seeing them on like pin trading groups on Facebook, or in pin sales on Instagram. There's so many different ways to get pins now, not just like through eBay. I definitely recommend checking out social media if you're just starting out on collecting Disney pins. Or also on Etsy as well, there's a lot of fantasy pins. That's a type of pin that I forgot to mention. Fantasy pins are pins that are made from people like me or you, just Disney fans that, you know, want to create their own Disney pin. These fancy pins are pins that you can't trade in the parks because they're obviously not official Disney pins. They're absolutely amazing. You can get some absolutely stunning ones, and people are just so creative, and I just love seeing like everyone's designs. The fourth thing I'm going to share with you is kind of a bummer, but it happens and we have to be aware of these type of pins. So fake pins and scrapper pins are everywhere. Especially if you trade pins in the Disney parks, you will see a lot of fake pins and a lot of scrapper pins that shouldn't be in the system because they're not true, genuine pins. So fake pins, I believe, are ones that people have made that are like basically replicas of official Disney pins, but then they trade them or they sell them off as official Disney pins. And then scrapper pins are pins that have got maybe like some piece of enamel missing, or the waffle design, the Mickey waffle on the back isn't like touching the edge of the pin, or maybe the paint is kind of streaky, or maybe there's like a dent or something in the pin that Disney can't sell. Some people actually take these pins that shouldn't be like sold and they sell them and they trade for them, and they're not like the true pins, if that makes sense, because they've got some like kind of fault with them. So I do have one, actually no, I think I've got quite a few scrapper pins. I can't remember, but I definitely have one that you can tell is a scrapper pin. So what I'd say with fake and scrapper pins is that you just have to be really wary when you trade in the parks, or if you buy pins off of eBay, for instance. If you want to see me do a video talking about fake and scrapper pins, then let me know down below. I'd love to do a video like that, because I feel like I've kind of got enough knowledge now to know the difference between like real and scrapper pins. Also, another tip is to check the PinPix website. I check that website all the time to see actually what the official pin looks like. So yeah, I'll leave the link to PinPix down below. And the fifth thing I'm going to share with you is that your collection will grow so quickly. Believe me, like, it's true. I didn't think my collection would grow like quick, but it has, and it's growing. It's still growing. Like I said before, my collection did start in 2006, but then I didn't really get into collecting like properly until 2017, and since then my collection has just grown like so much. Before 2017 I just had like this pin board, like that was the only pin board that I had, and all of my pins were on there. Now I've got like 4 other different, like I've got 3 pin boards and 1 pin flag. So yeah, my collection has grown a lot in the past 3 years, but I'm not complaining because I love Disney pins. Take all my money, like I literally don't care. So yeah, you'll just get hooked and you'll just get obsessed like I am now. So leave a comment down below if you'd like me to do a separate video on like my Disney pin story, my pin journey, if you want to know like the ins and outs of like how I got into pin collecting. And that is it for this video. It's kind of short, but I hope you enjoyed watching. I hope you enjoyed listening to some of my top things to know about Disney pin collecting, and I hope you learned something new as well. I absolutely love sharing my little bit of knowledge about Disney pins. I feel like I'm not as knowledgeable as some people out there, but I feel like I've got like quite a good, you know, gist of Disney pins, and you know how to pin trade and how to collect pins. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Make sure to leave a comment down below if you also collect Disney pins. I absolutely love talking about Disney pins, so leave a comment down below. Also give this video a little thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and yeah, I will see you in my next video. Bye!